It's not every day someone's like, I want to write a film on sex trafficking and then spend however many thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to then produce it and do all of, yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, I could go on. I didn't want to, tell everyone how much you budgeted, but it's also not super common, and we see it from time to time, but it's not common for a film to then also spend probably more just thousands of dollars on doing a follow-up study for that. What was you guys' heart behind that? I mean, what was the focus and the hope for that too?
It was from the start. So if we were to go back to the very beginning of this little coffee shop that Matt and I would meet in the very beginning, I was wanting to be able to have some resources available for people to be able to be educated and to grow and to lead them on a healing path. And it was Matt's idea of like, hey, maybe we could do it this way. We could get more eyes on it. We could spend
thousands and thousands of dollars.
And even more hours.
Thousands and thousands.
And I don't know if you've ever had coffee late in the afternoon.
And my money. Yeah, right, okay.
The more coffee we had, the more thousands got.
Yeah, gosh, I bet.
Yeah, it just grew and grew.
Yeah.
So that was actually a part of the plan from the very beginning, wanting to be able to make it as accessible to anybody and everybody as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we actually started we came up with the idea of a funnel. And if you look at a funnel, you have a wide end at the top and you have a narrow end at the bottom. And, that bottom end is where these resources are and where Pure Desire, is all their resources and their knowledge and their expertise are. But we need something big and wide at the top to funnel people into where they need to be. And that's the way we saw the film. But like Kevin said, the whole purpose of that was to get them to those resources.
Right. I'll share a funny story with that, I think, too. Of like, it was the podcast that you guys did or completed with Jenna Ramersma.
Yeah.
I had just watched that then, too, and I had reached out then to Jenna and just like, hey, we're working on this project.
Yeah, internal family systems.
It was, yes. Yeah. And it was her then that led me to you guys, because in the beginning I was like, oh no, I can do this. I can create all these resources. We can get this information out. It's like, man, I had no idea how much help we would actually need. So it's a funny story.
Yeah, and I think you brought up, Matt, that funnel idea in our first conversation, and I think that's really what appealed to us as a ministry and at Pure Desire, was the feeling that it can be challenging to get churches, pastors, parents to open up the topic of sexuality, let alone pornography or the messiness of what's happening in our world with sex trafficking. And yet on the other side of the equation, people can watch a movie, and there's all kinds of movies out there and all kinds of topics, and it doesn't take a lot of mental energy to sit down and go, oh, let's check out this movie. And that thought of what if we could get thousands and thousands of eyeballs after the thousands and thousands of dollars, if we can get them on a movie that just gets them thinking and gets that ball rolling to say, man, I feel like I don't know as much about this as I thought I did. Yeah. Maybe I should check out a little bit more. And so then having them take that next step into a pretty low bar video series that we created, where we tried to keep the videos pretty straightforward, short enough in length that it's not going to occupy days to get through it, and just gets you thinking even more, and to get then maybe someone through that to go, man, this is identifying with things in my life. I need to take the next step, whether it's helping others or getting in a group or going and talking to my church. And if we get people, I think that's the strategy here, that the more people we get to see the film, to get into the top of the funnel, some, as the Lord leads, are going to go through to the bottom of the funnel and end up in a group or in counseling or seeking help for their own story or for someone they love. And to me, that's a win of that. That's what we're after. And so if we can get, like I said, as many possible into the top, I just know statistically we'll get people that are actually taking steps. Now, will everyone who sees a movie do something about it? No. I mean, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people
for
that,
it, heavily judged.
Yeah, that watch a movie and are like, oh, what's on next? Turn the channel. But for others, it might be that spark or that idea that gets them to finally step into something that perhaps they've been avoiding.
Yeah, and creativity and story is able to sneak in past any defenses. Where if you hear, oh, there's this study on how sex trafficking ties to pornography, it's like, well, that doesn't really sound interesting to me. But a story could draw you in.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.